In the AP Lang world, there are many acronyms that teachers use. I actually tend to shy away from acronyms only because I think it's better to really dig into the actual topics. However, for this one, the acronym SCANS, SCANS, is really helpful. I'd like to walk through what each of these means. I know you can read the topics. However, I'll provide a little bit of insight that will hopefully help you complete the templates. We're going to start with S for subjects. Identify the subject of the visual. You're going to look at an image and determine as much as possible from the information provided, such as the context, date, subject matter. Essentially, this is really the message. This is the topic. Then we're going to head to C, the contents. Identify major components, such as characters, visual details, colors, symbols. Essentially, what stands out to you? Remember that you are the expert. Also verbal clues such as titles, taglines, date, author, dialogue. Remember that the size of these things matters too. If it's bigger, they want us to look at it first. Positions and actions of any characters, especially relative to one another or the surroundings. Are people just standing there? Or any characters in the image, are they moving? Are they doing something? What are their traits of the characters and the objects? Color schemes, positioning. Anything like that contributes to the message. A good visual argument takes all of this into account. Significant images that are repeated or patterned imagery. Also images that we should immediately pick up on, things that we know are symbols. For example, an American eagle typically symbolizes our country. Are there any things that we immediately are supposed to associate with a bigger idea? Also composition lines. For those of you interested in art, you'll probably get this pretty quickly, but think about what's at our eye level, things that are parallel, repeating, where they're positioned. All of this goes into content. Again, you don't have to address all of these things. Think about what stands out to you. You're the expert. Next is attitude. Position and size of details that might be exaggerated. What are the focal points created or emphasized? Look at details that are related to the positive or negative reactions of characters or objects portrayed in the visual. Does the author or creator indicate alternative viewpoints? Are we just looking at one perspective or multiple? Does the place or the environment create a mood? Think back to basic literary analysis. If something is placed in a haunted house, we're supposed to have a certain feeling about that background. Is the creator of this visual argument using the background to help set our mood? What are the reactions of other characters to the central character? Look how they play upon each other. This could be expressions. This could be body language. Is there any irony in the way the characters or situations are portrayed? In other words, have they taken something that we expect to be one way and changed it to do something different? Sure, it surprises us as an audience, but what else is supposed to happen then? Is it challenging our beliefs, challenging a stereotype? Let's move to narrative. Is there a conflict? Is this visual rhetoric telling us a story? What are the attitudes of the characters to the conflict? How does that conflict seem to be progressing? Are we supposed to see a resolution? Are we supposed to assume something happens after the frame of what we're looking at? Does something refer to an event or person in literature or history, essentially an allusion? What do we know about this? Is this supposed to parallel another time or another place? Remember, an allusion makes us call back previous knowledge we have. Is that what the visual argument is doing? Finally, symbolism. Do some of the concrete items represent abstract ideas? Are the colors used meant to help add to symbolism? Are there contrasts of light and dark? Are the composition lines broken up or aligned to make us focus on some of those symbols? I know this feels like a long checklist, and again, you don't need to address every single issue. What I would first do is just look at the piece and jot down to the side what are the moments or the elements that really pop out to you. Then say to yourself, okay, what is this trying to tell me? How is this trying to persuade me? And then you can start to fill out the SCANS worksheet. I left a spot for conclusions. Based on the various details, what can you say is the artist's purpose? Remember, purpose matters, and it's different from message. And what is the artist's attitude or feeling about the subject portrayed? Are they trying to support something they like? Are they trying to get us to fight against a view? Ultimately, visual rhetoric surrounds us, and the more adept we become at deconstructing it and figuring out how it's trying to argue, the better we'll become in crafting our own arguments.